Catchphrase is a British game show that was broadcasted on ITV from 1986 to 2004, and the show features contestants figuring out what familiar phrase is being represented by an animation shown on screen. Before I continue speaking, I should mention that there is also another game show called Catchphrase, although that game show is American and the words catch and phrase are separated. So just to clear up any confusion, I am not talking about that game show. Oh, and I should also mention that Catchphrase is based off the American game show I just mentioned. From the years 1986 to 1994, episodes were produced by TVS, before Carlton would produce episodes until the show ended. And if you were trying to find episodes from the show that are publicly available, you would have a much easier time trying to find Carlton-produced episodes compared to TVS-produced episodes. And that is because the master tapes for the TVS episodes were deemed officially wiped according to Kaleidoscope, after TVS asset owners Walt Disney Company revealed they no longer had the tapes. For each correct answer a contestant got, the contestant would not only win money, but also a chance of answering the bonus catchphrase consisting of an animation hidden between 9 squares. And if a contestant was able to answer the bonus catchphrase correctly, they would receive money that is stored in the bonus bank. However, if a contestant couldn't answer the bonus catchphrase, both contestants would then have to answer the puzzle again for another chance of answering the bonus catchphrase correctly, and one of the 9 squares would be removed to make the puzzle slightly easier to answer the next time around. If the bonus catchphrase is never solved, a new bonus catchphrase hidden behind 9 squares would be featured. And for every new bonus catchphrase, whether the previous one is solved or not, the money stored in the bonus bank increases. Whoever earned the most money by the show's end would go on to answer the super catchphrase, where the objective is to identify 5 catchphrases from a grid of 25 squares with letters going from A to Y, with every square featuring a catchphrase. And if the winning contestant managed to answer the M square correctly, they would win a holiday abroad to whatever destination the show featured. However, a contestant can also answer 5 catchphrases in a vertical or horizontal line without going through the M square and win a different prize. The show was first hosted by Roy Walker, and his run proved highly successful, with perhaps the most famous moment that occurred during his run was during an episode that featured a catchphrase with the correct answer being Snake Charmer. However, the mostly obscured animation gave the impression that the show's mascot, Mr. Chips, was performing risque actions with a snake. In 2000, the show would be revamped, with Nick Weir taking over as the host. However, his run, as well as Mark Curry's run in 2002, did not prove to be as popular as Roy Walker's run, and the show went on a hiatus not long afterwards. In total, the original show lasted for 17 series and 348 episodes. And in 2013, a revival of Catchphrase that is hosted by Stephen Mulhern debuted on television and is currently airing as of now. Like I mentioned earlier, the TVS episodes are much harder to find than the Carlton episodes, and this is due to the Walt Disney Company acquiring the TVS archive and wiping the show's episode tapes. Following Disney's controversial takeover, key paperwork documenting and noting the rights of the various TVS media had been destroyed, and it has made the public release of many TVS shows difficult to archive. And that's not even mentioning that Disney had wiped several TVS shows from its collection, including the Saturday morning children's show Motormouth. The TVS episodes of Catchphrase have suffered a fate similar to Motormouth, which was found out when ITV contacted Disney to ask about Catchphrase's fate, with Disney responding by saying they no longer held the show's master tapes, and thus Kaleidoscope's Chris Perry would announce that the TVS episodes, including 6 pilots that were established in 1985, were officially considered wiped, with an ongoing appeal for recordings of these early episodes. Around 150 episodes are listed as missing by Kaleidoscope. However, thanks to the efforts of ADC Television Collection and other collectors, the majority of the TVS episodes have since resurfaced on YouTube, and as of making this video, there are at least 18 TVS episodes that are partially or fully missing. Recently on March 6, 2024, a YouTube channel known as Made in Maidstone that are known for uploading recordings of programs that are, you guessed it, made in Maidstone, uploaded the full 19th episode from the third series of the show that aired on May 7th, 1988, and it was a TVS episode, making us one less TVS episode short of all of them being completely found. I'm pretty sure you guys all know about the Disney Channel show Phineas and Ferb, but for the few who don't, Phineas and Ferb is a 2007 television series created by Dan Povenmire and Jeff Swampy Marsh that aired on the Disney Channel and Disney XD for 4 seasons between August 2007 and June 2015. The show is about 2 stepbrothers who try to make the most out of their 104 days of summer vacation in various ways, whether it's undertaking the construction of a grand project or embarking on a spectacular adventure. However, Phineas and Ferb's antics annoy their controlling older sister Candace, who frequently tries to expose their projects to her and Phineas's mother, which always ends with Phineas and Ferb never being exposed. The show also has a subplot that almost always features Phineas and Ferb's pet platypus named Perry, who works as a secret agent identified as Agent P, who objectively tries to defeat the latest scheme by Dr. Heinz Doofenshmirtz, an evil and comedic mad scientist who is often defeated by his own ineptitude. At the end of each episode, the main plot and the subplot intersect, erasing all traces of the boys' project just before Candace can show it to their mother, and destroying Doofenshmirtz's evil contraption. In one of the show's episodes titled Out to Launch, Ferb's father names a star after Phineas and Ferb before the boys set off in a rocket to find it. And during one part of the episode, the boys learn that the star they named is actually a place called the Shooting Star Milkshake Bar, which is also the name of the song that is being played while they are enjoying their time there. A full version of the song was produced and played at Disney's Hollywood Studios' former Phineas and Ferb meet and greet, but was never released in any form of physical media, and it is known that the full version had more verses compared to the one in the episode. Part of the full version can be heard in a video by famous YouTube family channel Sen, Momo, and I when they visit the Phineas and Ferb meet and greet. And on December 28, 2020, a YouTube channel known as Supersonic Style would upload an instrumental of the song. But how did Supersonic Style get an instrumental of the song, you might ask? Well, the instrumental was a secret unlockable track from the game Phineas and Ferb in the Transportinators of Dune. So that's the answer to that question. On March 10th, 2024, a YouTuber by the name of Charter School Girl uploaded the full version of the song, making it available to listen to. Okay, so now that the Dune movie franchise is trending due to the release of Dune Part 2 about a month ago, I now have a great reason as to why I can talk about Dune lost media, such as the newly found deleted scene from the original Dune movie from 1984, which is what I'll be explaining. But for anyone who isn't familiar with the original Dune movie, it was a 1984 film that was directed by David Lynch, and was based on the 1965 Frank Herbert novel of the same name. The film is set in the distant future, chronicling a conflict between rival noble families as they battle for control of the extremely harsh desert planet Arrakis, or Dune as it's also known as. The planet is the only source of a drug called melange that allows prescience and is vital for space travel, making it the most valuable commodity in the entire universe. The film's main character, Paul Atreides, is the scion and heir of a powerful noble family, whose inheritance of control over Arrakis brings them into conflict with its former overlords, House Harkonnen. And Paul is also possibly the Kwisatz Haderach, a messiah figure expected by the Bene Gesserit sisterhood. The film also bombed at the box office, although it would eventually end up developing a cult following in the years after it was released, despite there being varying opinions between fans of the novel and fans of Lynch's films. Like pretty much any movie out there, the original Dune movie had numerous deleted scenes, and recently on March 11th, 2024, a lost deleted scene from the movie resurfaced on the internet, after an author named Max Every found and uploaded the scene, while working on his book A Masterpiece in Disarray, David Lynch's Dune, An Oral History. And it is known that actress Molly Rin, who plays the role of Hera in the movie, sent Max a copy of the scene before the footage was restored in 4K resolution, cleaned up, and edited to give the characters the blue within blue eyes they were supposed to have. As for the scene itself, it features Hera telling Lady Jessica of the Fremen's fear of Alia, before Paul's sister uses the voice to attack Hera. And Max Every also featured an introduction from Molly Rin along with the deleted scene, which I'll show you guys right now, since I think it's very interesting to hear someone who starred in the original Dune movie speak about behind the scenes details we never knew about before. And that's not considering the fact that all of Molly's performance in the movie didn't make it into the theatrical cut.
Hi, I'm Molly Rin, actor. David Lynch handpicked me to play Hera in Dune on September 16, 1982. He later told me I had the part when I walked through his door. I embodied his vision of Hera. When I met Frank Herbert on set, he signed my paperback Dune to the perfect Hera. There could be no higher praise. We filmed in Mexico City, and it was a magical experience being part of the Dune family. I flew in twice to do my scenes. For about a month the first time, then back to LA for a break. I flew back again to Mexico City for a couple weeks and went to the Wild Wrap Party. At the Dune premiere, I discovered all my scenes had been cut. All of them. I was devastated and heartbroken. Later, some of my scenes were restored in TV versions, but not this integral scene with Hera, Jessica, and Alia. It's a powerful scene. I felt privileged to sit across from Francesca Annis, who I admired so much, and Alicia as Alia was breathtaking. I'm truly thrilled that Dune fans will be viewing this beautifully restored scene that reveals the nature of Hera and her relationship with Alia. Thank you to all the Dune fans for watching. I hope you enjoy it.
So for anyone who is a fan of the Dune franchise, there is a newly found deleted scene from the original movie that you can easily view on YouTube. Say 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 is a song by former Beatle Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson that was released in October of 1983, as a lead single from McCartney's 1983 album Pipes of Peace, with the majority of its lyrics being written by Jackson and later given to McCartney, according to Paul McCartney biographer Ray Coleman. George Martin, who was the Beatles' producer, would also produce the song, and it would go on to become a major hit, reaching #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 for over 6 weeks, becoming Michael Jackson's 7th top 10 hit of 1983, and becoming Paul McCartney's final #1 single on the Hot 100 as of making this video. I should also mention that Say 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 wasn't the first single that Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson had collaborated on, as they had released another single called That Girl Is Mine 1 year prior. Recently on March 12, 2024, the original demo tape for the song was found and uploaded to YouTube by Korg Nex. However, the video would get taken down due to a copyright claim from the YouTube channel Celebrity Classified. And for the sake of making sure this video doesn't get taken down, I sadly will not be showing you guys an audio sample of the tape, but it is still available to listen to online as of this video's upload date. If you are a huge Five Nights at Freddy's fan, you are likely familiar with the series' creator Scott Cawthon. However, what you likely aren't familiar with is his animated series called Birdvillage. That was a series of 5 animated shorts made between 1999 and 2002. And the series was centered around a group of birds named Beak, Seabill, Stork, and Camo who would go on wild adventures, such as traveling to the moon, fighting giant snowball blasting robots, and traveling through time. Very little information is known about the Birdvillage episodes as they are very obscure and hard to find. However, it is known that 2 VHS tapes of the series are known to exist, which are Birdvillage Volume 1 released in 1999 and Stories from Birdvillage released in 2002. For the longest time, the only short that can be seen online was Beak's Snowball Fight, which was released as a bonus feature on Return to Mushnail, one of Scott Cawthon's other animations. On November 24, 2020, a YouTuber known as King Wizard discovered he had a VHS of Volume 1 and uploaded the VHS to YouTube. That contained 2 Birdvillage shorts, which were titled Beak's Adventure and Beak's Vacation. Recently on March 13, 2024, a YouTube user known as Philip Brave uploaded the Stories from Birdvillage VHS to YouTube, after he managed to obtain the VHS from a Hope Animation director named David Hutter. And if you aren't familiar with Hope Animation, they are a Christian animation group that Scott Cawthon was a member of. The VHS contained the already found episode Beak's Snowball Fight and another episode titled Birdvillage the Movie, one of the missing episodes from the series, which leaves only one episode of Birdvillage that has yet to resurface, and that is the series' final episode titled Birdvillage Second Nest, which is assumed to be a sequel to Birdvillage the Movie, and is considered to be the most obscure out of all the Birdvillage episodes. And we can only hope that it will one day be found in the future. The $10,000 Pyramid is an American game show created by Bob Stewart that aired on CBS from 1973 to 1976, becoming a success for the network and spawning numerous incarnations of it years later, such as the $20,000 Pyramid, the $25,000 Pyramid, the $50,000 Pyramid, the new $25,000 Pyramid, the $100,000 Pyramid, the Pyramid, and the latest incarnation, the $100,000 Pyramid. Wow, I never knew the show had that many incarnations of it. The show would be hosted by popular radio personality Dick Clark, who was hosting American Bandstand at the time, and the show would be regarded as Clark's best-known hosting gig. The $10,000 Pyramid features 2 teams consisting of 1 civilian and 1 celebrity taking turns in describing various words in 6 categories, in which they must not use any part of the word, and if they do, the word gets thrown out, and they must guess the word that is being referred to. The team with the most points goes on to the winner's circle, which is similar to the main game except one member of the team looks at the pyramid and describes the subjects being shown on it, while the other member faces away from the pyramid and guesses the subject their teammate is referring to. If the person facing away from the pyramid guesses a subject correctly, they win a certain amount of money that the subject hides. There are a total of 6 subjects on the pyramid, and the team has 60 seconds to guess them all correctly. And if they succeed, the civilian wins $10,000, and if they fail, they win the money they earn based on how many subjects they covered. In 1974, 1 year after the show premiered on CBS, its ratings temporarily declined and CBS canceled it. However, the show would be quickly picked up by ABC, where it would air episodes on that network starting on May 6, 1974. Due to the $10,000 Pyramid episodes airing in the 70s, before VHS tapes were commercially available to give episodes home media releases, many of the show's episode tapes were wiped, as it was a common practice at Bob Stewart Productions, the show's production company. While a very small amount of the show's episodes are found in their entirety, an episode that aired on December 21, 1973 was recently found on March 14, 2024, when it was uploaded to YouTube by Epidon. In the description of the video, Epidon mentions that the episode was from a screening on an old video podcast where it was shown in the corner, while there were background comments from the podcast being heard, which can still be heard in the video, and that he managed to crop the video so only the show itself can be seen, except for a tiny sliver in the bottom right corner. The episode featured celebrities Pat Carroll and Tony Randall as teammates, and was streamed on Twitch back in July of 2022, which is likely where Epidon found the episode. So yeah, we now have a new episode of the $10,000 Pyramid to watch online, which is great news for anyone who is a fan of the show. 12 Miles of Bad Road is a comedy series created by Linda Bloodworth Thomason that is centered around a Texas matriarch who must reconcile her booming real estate business and immense wealth with the day-to-day struggles of her dysfunctional family life. In 2006, the series would be picked up for 10 episodes on HBO. However, due to the 2007 to 2008 Writers Guild of America strike, only 6 out of 10 episodes were shot. And later on March 17, 2008, HBO would officially announce they were no longer planning on broadcasting the show, leading to the show's early cancellation. As of now, it is unknown why HBO decided to cancel the show, though the incomplete production and rumors of the main actress Lily Tomlin wanting out of her contract could have played a factor. After HBO's announcement, the show's creators sent a pilot of the show to various networks, such as TNT and Lifetime, which are the only ones that were ever mentioned so far. And the episodes would also be sent out to critics, in hopes that reviews for the show would get the attention of the general public and convince a network to pick it up. The show would receive positive reviews from critics, with the exception of one mention in a longer article from the Los Angeles Times about HBO, calling the show a muddled mess of a more than occasionally offensive storyline. Unfortunately, the 6 episodes that were shot have never been released or aired in any country or leaked online, and before 2024, the only footage from the show available online was a 44-second clip of a scene involving the main actress Lily Tomlin, with the watermark property of HBO Do Not Duplicate towards the bottom of the screen. On March 15, 2024, the show's pilot was uploaded by YouTube user The Media Garage, and as of now, it is the only full episode of the show that is available to watch online. Crash Landed, also known as I Am Crash Bandicoot, is a cancelled Crash Bandicoot game that was to be released on the PlayStation 3, Wii, Xbox 360, and Nintendo DS, with the Wii, PlayStation 3, and Xbox 360 ports of the game being developed by Radical Entertainment, while the DS port was developed by Renegade Kid. Despite the game's development starting in 2009, it was cancelled when Activision decided to lay off the entire development team behind the game, with Radical Entertainment developing Prototype 2 instead. And as for Renegade Kid's Nintendo DS port of the game, that was also cancelled too. The plot of the game goes like this. After being mutated by Cortex, Crash gets entangled with the task of rescuing his fellow bandicoots. Unlike Crash, these bandicoots were evolved by scientific contraptions, so they were mostly defenseless critters, and these bandicoots are trapped in dangerous areas until Crash frees them. Dingodile would have been a major villain in the game, and part of an unfinished cutscene shows him firing a bunch of bandicoots out of a cannon. Around the time Activision decided to lay off their entire development team, the game was cancelled before it had been officially revealed. However, some images, concepts, and videos of the game being played have been leaked onto the internet, and in addition to those leaks, the demo version of the DS port was leaked on the internet as well, leaving all gameplay footage of Radical Entertainment's version of the game completely lost as of now. Recently on March 18, 2024, a YouTuber known as Darkgazer uploaded a video of a tech demo for the DS port of the game that is playable, giving people a chance to play a very small portion of one of the game's multiple ports. Spy vs. Spy: The Island Caper is a multiplayer platform game that is based on Mad Magazine's Spy vs. Spy comic, and it was released by Kemco for the Famicom console in 1987, being a port of its Commodore 64 version. The port was planned to be localized and released on the NES in the US in 1989, before it was cancelled for unknown reasons, and the game takes place on Mad Island, a mysterious island in the South Pacific, where you must find all the missile fragments hidden on the island before your enemies do, while avoiding various booby traps that can stop you. On December 1st, 2015, A prototype ROM of the game's NES port was listed on eBay with an opening bid of $999, and the prototype would subsequently be purchased, although it is not currently possible to confirm how much it sold for, and it is also the only prototype that has been identified so far. On March 20th, 2024, an Internet Archive user known as the NicktoonsFan 2010 uploaded a prototype ROM of the game's NES port, and the user would claim they found the prototype on the popular ROM sharing site Vim's Lair. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood is a children's educational series that aired on PBS from 1968 to 2001, airing over 895 episodes and 12 specials, and one of their specials, called Springtime with Mr. Rogers, would air during the show's free-year hiatus from 1976 to 1979. However, it would end up becoming a very significant special during the show's broadcast history, due to it supposedly airing on television only once, which was on June 3rd, 1979, before it would end up never being seen again for decades. The special focused on the topics of moving and helping, with it opening with Mr. Rogers walking down the city and greeting his neighbors, before arriving at his house. Mr. Rogers is then told that Betty Aberlin's little theater has a leak in its roof, causing everyone in the neighborhood to find a way to raise money to fix her roof, before the entire neighborhood decides to make a special musical springtime show to raise money. In the neighborhood of make-believe, Lady Elaine is sad that she can't become a princess and eventually fantasizes about being a princess. Multiple comments on the Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood fansite, The Neighborhood Archive, mention that they saw the springtime special along with the Christmas time special. And on March 20th, 2024, the Fred Rogers Company would upload the special to MrRogers.org. However, the copy of the special they uploaded was missing the first 20 minutes of it. Days after the special was uploaded, a man named Mark Bazita would contact the Fred Rogers Company, saying that he had a copy of the full special before giving it to them. And on March 29th, 2024, a user on the website MySpleen known as Snowpeck would upload Mark's recording to the site, making the special completely found.